Hello everybody, my name is Chase and welcome to my video. So today I'm going to be talking about one of my most favorite Yu-Gi-Oh decks of all time, Pendulum, very specifically Pendulum Magician. So the reason for that mostly is because Yuya is one of my most favorite characters. So is RKB, one of my most favorite anime, Yu-Gi-Oh anime, and because he's just such a good boy, just such a sweet tomato bun because I don't like cinnamon. So, and I figured that I want to make a very quick video just talking about this deck. So unfortunately, I will not be showing any gameplays because my computer is just very awful, and it's just after like 5 minutes or so, I cannot just physically show any gameplay videos. It will just start lagging the whole video and recording, and I'm a monkey. I still haven't learned how to edit videos, so that's why this is just going to be one straight take. So yeah, it'll just be a very quick one actually. Maybe next time I'll show some videos associated with this. But so basically, this is a pendulum deck that I've always had since the beginning of Master Duel. Actually, this is one of the first two decks that got me into the paper game period, like alongside Sword Soul, I guess, because that was an easy deck to learn as well. But basically, I've had this since the beginning of Master Duel and just been tweaking it here and there, adjusting to the meta. And this is obviously we're in the tier element Ishizu meta. That's why you can see DD Crow, and that's it. Like mostly, it's just for DD Crow. And now evenly match as well. Now, obviously, evenly match against tier element is not exactly like a FTK against them because they can still play through stuff because that's how they hawk their resources for next turns and beyond that. But the reason for evenly matched main deck is because of tier element being near tier 0 in Master Duel. Almost everyone else is just playing fucking back row and stun floodgate decks. So that's why we need to play evenly matched against those. And so for the same reason, Abyss Dweller is specifically for the tier element matchup. You criticize society, yet you partake in it. Yes, I know. I don't like floodgate cards. I think Abyss Dweller is one of the blight in the format, in an otherwise very fun format. We'll talk about tier element in the future, but basically, this is a very standard Pendulum Magician deck. Now you might be wondering why in a Master Duel OCG format I would not have Call by an Ash. That's basically the tax for these formats. The reason is Ash and the Call by are just too fair of a card against tier element. In many of the instances when Ash was thrown at my face when I was playing tier element Ishizu, it just stopped my turn because my hand just happened to be bricky. But in many other instances, it just doesn't do enough against the deck. It's like a 1-for-1 trait when they have many many setups and many resources to get to what they need to do. So yeah, that's why I feel like it's just a little bit too weak. And if Maxi comes up, we might just lose to Maxi, which is a bit of an unfortunate aspect of it. But so far it's still fine. Because if we get Maxi, we can still just go to Plan B Babuska. Usually, the way that works is that we get Maxi at Abyss Actor, Curtain Raiser, and we just normal summon another 4 and just make this. So it gives them power redraw too, but it's still this. But usually, you might also blind make Dweller. That's the thing about Master Duels because it's best of one. I believe best of one is just the worst way. It's just not a way to play Yu-Gi-Oh at all. It's just not a thing. So yeah. But unfortunately, that's the way it has to be. Speaking of best of one, you will see a lot of weird ratios: 2 copies of this, 2 copies, not that, 2 copies of these, 2 copies of a lot of stuff. Reason is because we need to stuff a lot of different cards for different scenarios. Like I said, evenly match and DD Crow. It's mostly for tier and stuff like that. But like these defenses cards and stuff. So yeah, that's the unfortunate aspect of best of one is it really hinders your deck building and just makes you deck build like shit basically. But yeah, I've been very comfortable with these ratios. Honestly, these 2-ofs are fine. The reason these are here is because they've actually been the fact that if you ever open these and you can get these out, it's been pretty good. Obviously, you can say, well, if you open these, it's kind of a break. Well, they're still scales, so yeah, it's still fine. And speaking of bricks, we are splashing the branded fusion engine. Now, why am I not playing the DP engine when it's more flexible? Because Celestial is banned now, and ever since Celestial was banned, everyone stopped using it. And I also felt like this might be a very controversial opinion, but I feel like Celestial is just the whole reason you play DP to begin with. Repeatable pop every single turn is fine, is obviously powerful, but like I just feel like it just doesn't really uh, it just doesn't really offset the disadvantage that playing three or at least two hard bricks in the deck can get to you. Can sort of offset the advantage that you get from that. So in exchange for just playing one less brick in Brand of Fusion and Albus, I will be taxing my extra deck slot for one extra copy for Lubellion, basically. So a Mirror Jade can actually do something for the banish. It's a little bit unfortunate, and some might say, Brand of Fusion is kind of a brick as well. But if you open Brand of Fusion, usually the rest of your hand is just not playable anyway. So you might as well just Mirror Jade pass. That's sort of the trade-off you have to make for splashing other engines, and it's been tried and true knowledge since the beginning of time. Of course, Verte is there for specifically that reason, and the rest of the extra deck is more or less just standard. This one you can probably just play Savage Dragon in place of it, but I prefer this one just for removal. It's also non-destruction removal. It shovels some stuff back into the deck, which is relevant for tier. But of course, Savage Dragon is an Omni that doesn't destroy, which is also relevant for tier stuff. So that's something you might be thinking about. But the thing is, tiers chain block a lot, so like this is a lot weaker. But again, against other matchups, it's fine. Most of the time, you want to make Baron anyway. Dark is here because it's just a very flexible card. You can just summon stuff off of other people's graveyard and stuff like that. Because most decks just run Dark. That's just how it is. And speaking of which, actually, my list specifically does not run Pendulum Sorcerer. Now the reason for that is that oftentimes I just find that you do not want to be popping your scales to try to add cards, because the cards that this card adds is very specifically performable power names. Usually when you pass turn in this deck, you set Time Pen Graph and you have you basically want to be setting with Purple Poison Magician. Purple Poison is not a performable power name. This does not search this. So oftentimes you do not want to be popping your scales to try to +2. And the whole idea of plussing and card advantage, in my opinion, has just very much diminished ever since Yu-Gi-Oh has decided that it wanted to be more combo focused ever since, I don't know, 2004 or something, with Chaos and stuff. But yeah, like actually Chaos and stuff were also pretty grindy games, so I shouldn't say that. But yeah, it's just the concept of card advantage is just diminished over time. Except for the MR3 Pendulum era, where Pendulum was the most pushed new mechanic back then, because they had to sell packs. So yeah, that's why this was more widely used. But in the context of today, it just doesn't really. You just never really see turn 3. So the card advantage, quote unquote, that it generates just does not matter. So yeah, I've cut that out, and that's basically all I have to say about the deck. Like all these other stuff are very standard. Even my computer is already starting to lag actually. So I gotta say, it is not the most competitive deck as of now, because the format has really shaken up. Pendulum Magician has always been that perennially rogue option that you can just run through ladder or even in paper tournaments, because it's just so solid all the time. Except for this format though, like my last 20 games was 11 losses. Not ideal. I think it was around here that that my deck configurations is currently the way it is right now. So around here. So technically I won the last 4 of my 5 matches. But even the matches that I do won is kind of like this weird decks like this, I guess, weird 60 card piles that doesn't really work. That's not really how Ishizu tiers are being played. And weird Sword Soul piles, Sword Soul Water piles like this. So yeah, it is not the most competitive deck to run, but it is it is still fun because I like the deck. And of course, fun is being defined very differently by various different people. So that depends on how you do it. So yeah, so that is it for my Pendulum Magician very quick deck profile. I cannot show you any games because my recording is just going to get lagged to shit, and
it's just going to be unusable. So yeah, I should be stop talking right now. So yeah, maybe in the future I'll start showing some gameplay, and yeah, thank you for watching up to this point. We'll see you. I'll see you next time.